Let's start with this. The fastest way to heal your twin flame connection isn't about making them come back. It's not about saying the right thing, or doing the right thing, or figuring out what's blocking union. The truth is, your twin flame connection isn't broken. What needs healing isn't the connection, it's you. And through your healing, the connection shifts. Not because you forced it, but because you became the version of you that this love has been calling you into all along. Now, I know that might feel hard to accept, especially if you've been in separation, if they've pulled away, if it seems like they've forgotten everything you shared. But here's what you need to remember. This isn't just a love story. It's a soul story. And soul stories don't unfold like movies or fairy tales. They unfold through growth, surrender, self-awareness, and deep personal transformation. So today, we're going to talk about what it really means to heal your twin flame connection and how to do it in the fastest way possible. Not by rushing or bypassing, but by finally getting out of your own way. This is about stepping into the version of you who no longer waits, chases, or clings. The version who trusts, who feels whole within herself, and who allows the connection to rise, not from need, but from truth. Let's begin. 1. Stop fixating on the other person. This is where we have to start, because this is where so many twin flames get stuck. You can't heal the connection by obsessing over what they're doing, who they're with, or why they've gone silent. I know it hurts. I know it's confusing. But the fastest way to shift the energy between you isn't to fix them. It's to shift your focus back onto yourself. When your energy is constantly reaching out, wondering, waiting, overanalyzing, you're actually feeding the separation. You're pouring your life force into a version of love that's rooted in fear, lack, and abandonment. And that's not love. That's survival mode dressed up as longing. So the invitation here is simple. Come back home to yourself. Every time your mind starts spiraling into their world, their decisions, their silence, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, where am I still giving my power away? Because true healing begins the moment you reclaim it. It helps to limit the things that keep the obsession alive. Checking their social media, replaying conversations, pulling tarot cards for reassurance. These things might feel comforting in the moment, but they only keep you tied to the illusion of control. The more you let go of the need to figure them out, the more space you create for your own healing to take root. And as you pull your focus inward, you'll start to feel your own energy returning to you. You'll feel stronger, clearer, and more rooted in yourself. That's the energy your twin flame feels too. Because remember, this connection is energetic. When you stop grasping for them in fear, they feel that shift. And that's what opens the door to real change. 2. Ground yourself in the present moment. One of the most overlooked parts of the healing journey is simply being here, right now. Not in the future, not in the past, but in the moment where your power lives. It's easy to get caught in the what ifs and when will they wake up. But the truth is, nothing shifts when your mind is stuck in a time that doesn't exist. Healing happens now. Think about it. How much of your pain comes from replaying the past or fearing the future? That message they didn't send, that call they didn't return, the story you're writing in your head about them being with someone else. All of that creates anxiety, and none of it is rooted in what's actually happening right now. When you ground into the present moment, you give your nervous system a chance to relax. You step out of survival mode. You become the eye of the storm instead of the storm itself. And from that place, you can start to feel clarity again. You can hear your intuition. You can choose your next step without panic, pressure, or projection. So how do you stay present? Start small. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the texture of your skin, the weight of your body, the rhythm of your heart. Come back to your senses. The more you practice this, the more safety you build in your body, and the more healing can unfold naturally. You don't have to solve everything today. You just have to meet yourself here. And in this moment, you are already enough. You are already safe. You are already healing. 3. Heal your inner wounds, especially the abandonment wound. Every twin flame connection shines a light on the places inside us that still feel unworthy, unloved, and unwanted. These aren't just surface-level insecurities. They're deep, soul-level wounds that often come from childhood, past lives, or ancestral pain. And one of the loudest ones, the abandonment wound. This is the part of you that says, they left me because I wasn't enough. I must be too much, too emotional, too intense, too broken. And when this wound runs the show, it makes the separation feel unbearable. You start chasing. You start begging the universe for signs. You try to earn love instead of allowing it. But here's the truth. Your worth has never depended on their presence, and their absence doesn't mean you were abandoned. Sometimes it means the universe is clearing space for you to finally meet yourself. Healing this wound starts with reparenting yourself. That means learning how to show up for the parts of you that are still scared, still hurting, still waiting to be chosen. You become the love you've been craving. You speak kindly to yourself. You hold your emotions without judgment. You give yourself the comfort, validation, and reassurance you've been waiting for someone else to provide. This isn't about denying your pain. It's about meeting it with compassion. Let yourself cry. Let yourself feel. But don't let those feelings turn into facts about your worth. You are not broken. You are not unlovable. You are not too much. When you begin to heal these inner wounds, the dynamic with your twin flame starts to change, not because they've suddenly woken up, but because you have. You no longer need them to fill the holes in your heart, and from that wholeness, true union becomes possible. 4. Reclaim your divine masculine and feminine energies. Inside each of us lives both divine feminine and divine masculine energy. The feminine is your intuition, emotion, receptivity. The masculine is your structure, action, boundaries. When these energies are out of balance, when you're too much in one and not enough in the other, you end up feeling stuck, disempowered, or emotionally chaotic. Most people on the twin flame journey, especially those identifying more with the chaser role, are often deeply rooted in their wounded feminine. They're open, emotional, intuitive, but they lack grounding, direction, and energetic containment. That's where the masculine comes in. You heal your connection faster when you stop waiting for your twin flame to embody the masculine, and instead, you do. You create boundaries. You build structure in your day. You take aligned action. You protect your own energy instead of leaking it everywhere. And this doesn't mean abandoning your heart. It means supporting it. Likewise, if you've been overly masculine, controlling, overthinking, pushing, then it's time to soften. Let yourself feel again. Let yourself receive. Let yourself trust the flow of life without needing to micromanage the outcome. The fastest way to heal is to balance your own inner energies. Because once you do, the dance between you and your twin flame shifts too. They feel the difference. They mirror the energy. You're no longer trying to complete each other. You're meeting each other in wholeness. 5. Detach with love, not fear. Here's the part no one really tells you. Healing your twin flame connection means being willing to let it go. Not from bitterness, not from shutdown, but from a place of love so deep it trusts the outcome, even when it's uncertain. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you give up. It means you no longer grip the connection from a place of fear. You let go of needing constant proof, updates, or reassurance. You stop living your life around their timeline. You release the fantasy of who they should be and start loving them as they are, from a safe, healthy distance if needed. When you detach with love, you set both of you free. You give the connection space to breathe, to transform, to unfold in its own time. You also give yourself permission to live fully again, to explore, to dream, to grow without waiting on someone else's healing. Letting go doesn't close the door. It opens a new one that leads back to yourself. And from there, anything is possible. Union might happen, or it might not. But either way, you'll be at peace because you've stopped chasing love outside of you and started becoming it within. 6. Trust the soul contract, even when it doesn't make sense. Every twin flame connection comes with a soul contract. That means your souls agreed to meet, to mirror, to trigger, and to transform. And that contract isn't random. It's sacred. It's designed for your evolution, even if the human experience of it feels messy, painful, or impossible to understand. Sometimes, the fastest way to heal isn't to understand everything, but to trust it. Trust that what's happening is what's needed. Trust that even in the silence, even in the distance, your souls are still working together. Trust that no connection that's meant to serve your growth will ever truly be lost. This doesn't mean bypassing your pain. It means holding your pain in a bigger context. You're not being punished. You're being refined. Every trigger is showing you where your healing still lives. Every separation is showing you how to become whole. And every surrender is teaching you how to love without conditions. When you remember that this journey is about more than reunion, that it's about soul evolution, you begin to feel peace again. You stop trying to control the process. You stop blaming yourself or them. You start seeing the beauty in the unfolding. That kind of trust, it changes everything. It lets you rise. It lets you breathe. It lets you hold your connection with grace, even when it doesn't look the way you thought it would. 7. Focus on your soul purpose. There comes a point in every twin flame journey when you have to decide, am I going to keep orbiting around this connection, or am I going to live my life? And here's the secret most don't realize. Your twin flame journey unlocks your soul purpose. All the emotions, the awakenings, the spiritual chaos, it wasn't just about love. It was a spiritual alarm clock meant to shake you awake so you could remember why you came here in the first place. You didn't come to Earth just to chase someone, wait for texts, or obsess over signs. You came here to evolve, to grow, to serve, to express something deep, powerful, and unique through your existence. And when you step into that purpose, even in small ways, you become magnetic. You shift timelines. You heal in ways you never could from just inner work alone. Maybe you feel drawn to start a creative project. Maybe you've always wanted to teach, to write, to help others. Or maybe your sole purpose right now is just to heal and find your joy again. Whatever it is, honor it, nurture it, make space for it every day. The fastest way to heal the twin flame connection isn't to sit around waiting for union, it's to step into your divine assignment. Because your soul didn't plan this connection to distract you. It planned it to activate you. And when you start pouring your energy into purpose instead of pain, something magical happens. You stop feeling stuck. You start feeling aligned. You remember who you are. And in doing so, you naturally shift out of the chaser role. You no longer need union to feel whole, which ironically makes you the exact energy that invites it in. So ask yourself, if you weren't consumed by this connection, what would you be creating? Start there. That's where your power lives. 8. Strengthen your connection with the divine. No matter how intense your twin flame journey feels, you're not meant to walk it alone. Behind every heartbreak, every silence, every painful trigger, there's something bigger holding you. Call it God, the universe, source, spirit. It doesn't matter. What matters is reconnecting with that presence and letting it carry you when the human experience feels too heavy. When you strengthen your spiritual connection, you begin to see your twin flame journey through a different lens. You stop seeing it as punishment and start seeing it as a purification. You start trusting divine timing. You start feeling less desperate and more guided. You can deepen this connection in so many ways. Through meditation, prayer, time in nature, journaling, or simply speaking to the divine like you would a friend. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be open. Ask for signs, not to chase outcomes, but to feel supported. Surrender your fears, not to give up, but to remember that you're not in control and you don't need to be. Let your heart soften into trust and notice how your whole body begins to relax. The anxiety quiets. The obsession fades. The peace returns. Because once you remember that this connection is divinely guided, you don't have to force anything. You don't have to beg the universe to make something happen. You just follow the guidance, step by step, moment by moment. That's what keeps you aligned. That's what keeps you healed. And in that state of alignment, you radiate the energy of union, whether it's with your twin flame or with your own soul. So, what is the fastest way to heal your twin flame connection? It's to realize that the healing was never about fixing the relationship. It was about becoming whole. It's about turning inward, not outward. It's about grounding in the now, trusting the divine, facing your wounds, balancing your energy, and surrendering control. It's about detaching with love, living your purpose, and finally remembering who you are outside of the pain. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to convince them. You don't even need them to wake up. Because when you wake up, when you come back to yourself fully, tenderly, unapologetically, everything around you begins to shift. And in that shift, The connection either aligns or releases. But either way, you heal, you grow, you rise. And that's what your soul wanted all along. So let love lead, let healing become your new home, and let your life, regardless of how the story unfolds, be a masterpiece of becoming.